Namaskar and a very warm welcome. My name is Pooja Kapoor. I'm pursuing my PhD in counseling from Yoga University of Americas under the guidance of Dr. E.V. Swaminathan. It's a matter of great honor and pride for me that I have got an opportunity to share my research methodology with you all wonderful people. Thank you so very much for joining in. Once I'm done with my presentation, I would welcome and appreciate your kind suggestions. Title for my research is A Perfect Recipe for Beautiful Relationships and the Most Beautiful Family Environment. Family. If we look at the dictionary meaning of the term family, it is defined as a group of people united by the ties of marriage, blood, or adoption. But when we talk to people around us, or when I asked my subjects and clients their opinion about the family, I got the whole new definition. I would like to share one very young child. I think she must be around 8 or 9 years old. She very sweetly explained me that even our house helpers are our family members. So based on the opinion of people with whom I interacted, family is a group of people united by the ties of love, care, affection, and compassion. When we think of a family, we think of being loved, taken care of, accepted, and all other beautiful emotions. Sometimes, when we are sitting alone in the office or traveling, and we think about family or a family member, a beautiful smile comes to our face. But sadly, this is not always true, or maybe not true for some of the family members. We come into relationship to give love and be loved. Love is a source of emotional fulfillment. But despite our earnest efforts, we seems to run out of love for some people. We feel as if our energy of love is completely blocked. And this is evident through different data available. Say, for example, the global divorce rate has increased up to 251.8% since 1960. Every year, world organizations such as the United Nations record global divorce rates. In India, divorce rate is about 13 in 1,000 marriages. Yet, in recent decades, we can see an increase in the divorce rate in India. And can you imagine, out of the 7 reasons listed by a leading web magazine, one of the reasons for divorce is problems with in-laws. Here, I'm quoting the exact words that I have picked up from that magazine. Indian marriages are influenced, supported, and inspired by family. But also, sadly, marriages are destroyed by family too. The most common marital issue is that of the in-laws and the daughter-in-law, especially the conflict between the daughter-in-law and mother-in-law. According to the study of hundreds of families over 2 decades, more than 60% of women admitted the relationship with their female in-laws caused them long-term stress and unhappiness. And tension between the two sometimes becomes the cause for divorce. But this is only one side of the story. There are studies which indicate a high satisfaction of daughter-in-law, mother-in-law relationship increases personal marital adjustment. If we talk about the role and importance of women in Indian families, we'll see that women are the key to sustainable development and quality of life in the family. Women have a responsibility to provide children with a positive role model and a supportive environment in which they can grow. A child's learning and socialization is most influenced by his or her family. Ultimately, the family is responsible for shaping child's values and skills. And like we say, values are never taught, but values are always caught. So children will pick up the same behavior that is portrayed by their mothers. If if they'll observe or feel that their mother is most of the time upset because she is not able to convey her feelings or thoughts, or that she's not able to put forward her thoughts in an assertive and dignified manner, they'll pick up the same behavior. That is, they'll not learn to express themselves gracefully, they'll suppress their emotions. On the contrary, if they observe that their mothers answer back, again they'll pick up the same behavior. They'll learn this is how we can get things done our way. They'll not learn to accept their mistakes, and they might turn out to be aggressive person. If two females of the family do not share compatible relationship, family environment becomes toxic and stressful, which of course adversely influence children. And research says that stress weakens the architecture of developing brain, which can lead to lifelong problems in learning, behavior, and physical and mental health of children. So the chain of thoughts that I'm trying to build is that for harmonious marital relationship, happy family environment, and right upbringing of children, the foundation is compatibility between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law in the family. Now we'll discuss how to achieve this compatibility. When two women are from different family environment and have experienced different upbringing, difference of opinion is natural and obvious. But yes, if we are compassionate, if we accept the family members as they are, if we are understanding and tolerant, we can comfortably let go the difference of opinion. And you'll be glad to know if we are practicing forgiveness. All these emotions, all these values are in action. That means we are using all these emotions at the same time. Mhm. Let us try to understand this with the help of an example. Let us try to understand this with the help of an example. If your child does something that he or she should not do, you forgive them because you are compassionate and tolerant towards them. At times, even if they do something very unpleasant, we accept them and we tell them to let go of the past and move ahead. This means we all have the power to forgive. We just need to practice it in all relationships. Being committed to practicing forgiveness is key to creating relationships and a life filled with love. And based on the findings of different studies, here I would like to add life filled with love and good health. So to motivate you, I would like to share some benefits of practicing forgiveness. Forgiving people are markedly physically healthier than unforgiving ones. A 2005 study published in the Journal of Behavior Medicines found that participants who considered themselves more forgiving had better health across 5 measures, that is, physical symptoms, the number of medication used, sleep quality, fatigue, and medical complaints. It was found that this was because the process of forgiveness tamed down negative emotions and stress, which means letting go of grudges and bitterness can make way for peace of mind and improved health. Forgiveness also leads to healthier relationship, less anxiety, stress, and hostility, lower blood pressure, fewer symptoms of depression, a stronger immune system, improved heart health, and improved self esteem. And if you are unforgiving, you might bring anger and bitterness into every relationship and new experience. You become so wrapped up in the wrong that you can't enjoy the present. You might become depressed or anxious and feel that your life lacks meaning or purpose. And you might lose valuable and enriching connectedness with others. When I was a young girl, my mother used to tell me a story. I'm not sure if it was from any religious book or it was her own creation. She used to tell me that if you carry grudges or bitterness against anyone, a black patch is created on your heart. Now, when I'm grown up and I relate to this story, when I relate this story to real life situations, I think if I spill tea or coffee by mistake, I make sure that carpet or sofa is cleaned nicely. So if we are so particular about the outside beauty, or if we are so particular about the beauty of materialistic things, how can we afford to have black patch on our heart? So, so this is quite evident and quite obvious that we should not carry any grudges, we should not carry bitterness, we should plan to, or we should aim to resolve our conflicts. We should resolve our conflicts today itself. And if you plan to resolve your conflicts, a perfect recipe for beautiful relationships and the most beautiful family environment is practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness is an intervention that my subjects will practice for 3 months. All those who are participating in my research work will practice forgiveness for 3 months every morning, just after waking up, and at night before going to sleep. In their prayers, they'll ask for forgiveness from their mother-in-laws, and, and they will forgive them also. Let me explain this. Practice that daughter-in-laws have to do is they will think or say in their mind, to date, if ever my words or actions have hurt you, I ask for forgiveness with folded hands. Please forgive me. And with all the love and affection, I accept you as you are. Or if they don't want to ask for forgiveness with folded hands, let it be a simple sorry. And if someone feels I have never hurt my mother-in-law, rather she is being rude with me, then she can simply ask for forgiveness and say, God has blessed me with enough love and strength to forgive you. So based on their own religious beliefs or life experiences, sisters can have their own personal way of forgiving and asking for forgiveness, but they have to sincerely practice forgiveness for 3 months. Aim of the research is to find if this practice helps in improving mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship. I would like to share that some of my clients have improved their relationship by practicing forgiveness, which has greatly inspired me to do a research work on the same. So here I would like to share one more interesting fact. Research have shown that our subconscious mind cannot differentiate between what's really happening and what we are thinking. Let us try to understand this with the help of an example. When you think or when you talk about your favorite food, you can feel the saliva in your mouth. Or if we think of any past unpleasant event, we feel stressed. At times, we even cry. We know that the same thing is not happening again, but our subconscious doesn't know. So the tears flow through our eyes. I'm sharing this because I want you to understand that if we'll practice forgiveness for 3 months, our subconscious will accept it. So, so you all can, improve your relationship by practicing forgiveness. Though my research is confined to mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship, but I'm sure rather I feel everyone can improve his or her relationship by practicing forgiveness. And before I conclude, I want to share what different religions say about forgiveness. So this is from Islam. No mercy will be shown to those who show no mercy, and no forgiveness will be given to those who cannot forgive others. Christianity. And when you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heaven may, so that your Father in heaven may forgive you your sins. This is from Jainism. When you forgive, you don't change the past. You reprogram the present for better future. Hinduism. Average people consider those who are forgiving to be weak. Only wise understand that forgiveness is a great power. Forgiveness is a virtue of the weak and an ornament of the strong. Forgiveness subdues everything in this world. It liberates you from delusion and delivers you to wisdom. Buddhism. Forgiving someone doesn't mean that their behavior was okay. What it does mean is that we are ready to move on, to release the heavy weight, to shape our own life on our terms without any unnecessary burdens. So I believe we all are ready to shape our life in our terms, in our way. And we are willing and ready to release our burden. That is all from my side. Thank you so very much for giving your valuable time. Thank you.